again, I'm really excited to have you guys here. Elitia, we met a while back, and I know that we share something in common.
Right.
Can you tell us a little more about your Garifuna background?
Yes, my mother is a Honduran. She was born and raised in Coxon Hole, Rotan, and Cullen and I visit there often. We have couples trips there. It is near and dear to my heart. It is a beautiful island. So make sure if you're on this live that you put Rotan, must visit Honduras, a part of your trip list as soon as all is safe to travel, of course.
Right.
Yes, yes. Right. You guys have done a few retreats in Honduras, right?
Yes. Yes, we have. Dating back 4 years ago, I think, was the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a love relationship with Honduras, with Rotan. I mean, the people are so beautiful and so friendly and so sweet, and it just seemed like the perfect, meshing partner with us. We went over there and it just felt right. And so it's been in the loop for us for, over the course of 4 years. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you've been there a few times then, Cullen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows more about that island than I do, because Cullen is a runner. So as soon as we land anywhere, he's running the whole island, scoping stuff out. Yeah. And he's like, oh, did you know this place? And then Flowers Bed and grab something. I'm like, hello, you American. Hello.
Yeah.
Amazing. So just to kick us off, Elitia, can you start with telling us how you've seen or experienced relationships in your culture growing up?
Yeah, so growing up, and again, I'm speaking from my experience. So everyone listening, is my experience in having a mother who's from Rotan, Honduras, and a father who American born. And just there are very stark differences in the culture. And when it comes to my Honduran family and Garifuna background and culture, one of the things that I remember was, one, love and being really connected to your partner wasn't foundational, but having security was. So for example, I heard a lot of people talk about, get a partner who is gonna get you a nice house, or y'all will have children with nice hair, or just more material things. And then they also talked a lot about how, don't really smile too much. You don't want people to think you're too fast. And so growing up in that culture, I really heard a lot of, wait, don't be free, don't be liberated, and only connect with people for things. So I say that's my experience, but I still go back and I still see a lot of people in our culture and they have the same experiences. So I think that it's really ingrained in how they're enculturating young women. This is how you date. You date, have this very stoic and very put together look, because you want to attract a partner who is going to provide you a home, who's going to provide you stable, covering for your children, and you will be a home wife and you take care of the family. Don't worry about love. Like the mention of it and how you date and connect was really around material setup and security financially.
Wow. And Cullen, how does your upbringing either relate or contrast to Elitia's experience?
Well, first of all, huge contrast. And I'm not saying this in any way judgmentally. It's just plain factual. I grew up a love millionaire. I really did. I grew up around. I'm truly blessed, and that's why my wife is my hero, because I know her background, and I asked her to meet me in the middle. Like for me, I grew up seeing it. I'm not trying to say I didn't see dysfunction. I saw dysfunction, but there was. It's just like when somebody introduces you get the flu shot and they put a little flu in there so the rest of it can beat it down. That's the dysfunction I saw was so outnumbered by the functionality that I saw that I still attain that I grew up a love millionaire. My parents my dad was very liberated. He was very liberal, and he respected my mom and saw her for a human being and didn't you know, just because she was born female didn't like hold her down. You know,
Right.
the both of them built each other up, and it went a long ways for me. You know, I grew up in a turbulent time in the United States of America, and I swear I didn't know what was going on outside, because when I came home, it was so amazing. It was the two of them, their love cradled us. But yet at the same time, I was exposed to it, and I knew how to deal with it, because they empowered me right at home in the love in that love base.
And so that was contrasting. It's a stark difference, because if the way I grew up is all I've seen is dysfunction, and it's in a home, and I'm in a turbulent, you know, growing up in New Orleans, growing up in the South, and it was just a lot of dysfunction outside. And when I come home, I see people, and in my family and in the next generations of family, I see people together solely for the children, or solely for how it looks. So I had dysfunction all around me, to the point that I had normalized it. So meeting Cullen and dating Cullen, it was totally different. We had to get on the same page. And specifically because I wanted to do and see something different. So I said, I'm going to do and see something different. And what he was introducing and what we talked about and what we just unpacked really allowed me to see, wow, what I saw wasn't healthy. It just was consistent and the norm.
Right, right.
And,
wow.
And when I met her, she was so receptive to most of the things I introduced to her. She lagged a little on the physical affection part, because of, I think, some of the stuff she was exposed to, and the guilt around being physically. I mean, that whole thing she was talking about before. You know, you didn't want to come across being fast. So she, you know, and I told her, I said, no, sweetheart, you know, love. God created us. We're amphibians. We're part spirit and we're part physical.
Amphibians.
You can't.
Hybrid.
You cannot love the spiritual part of a human being. If it wasn't important, why would God go through such great, you know, put all of this effort into crafting this beautiful woman, and you, and all these beautiful people in the world,
right.
and we weren't supposed to enjoy it and love the physical aspect of that person too. God could have just made us all spirits and just left it at that. But this was the next round. He said, I'm going to create amphibians, part physical, half spirits. No, amphibian. I mean,
hybrid.
That means the same thing.
Okay.
So I'm just saying the two, you know, I told her we're not going to let anything hold us back from loving each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Yeah, I was wondering, would you say that, what was it that inspired you to get to this point where you were able to, you know, study psychology and be able to come to this point where you guys have started When Love Works? Do you think that your upbringing, your background, or anything had any contribution to do with that?
Yeah, I think specifically for me, again, because I normalized dysfunction, and I had been in a physically abusive relationship, emotional abusive relationship. I had financial abusive relationship. I had normalized dysfunction to the part that was normal. And one of the things that When Love Works really bubbled up in us, and we say we have to share it with the world, is because I was very comfortable with being in situationships and dysfunctionships. But when it comes to a healthy relationship, I didn't have a clue. And one of the things that Cullen and I start with is we have to look at ourselves, and we have to say, okay, you know what? They don't even teach us, specifically in the Black community, any marginalized community is not really taught how to be in healthy relationships.
Right.
So we say we're going to do something about it. So psychology is my background as well as education. And one of the main indicators of people's growth and development is the education that you give, right? And so Cullen and I was like, we have to teach health. We have to teach health around relationships, because we are very comfortable in dysfunctionships and situationships.
Right. And those are created. I mean, the common denominator is they're rooted in fear.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like, you know, I don't know if I really want to go all the way with this. I don't, if I want to, you know, but relationships are like, it's like swimming. You can't put your toe in the pool and say that you're in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
You're only in the pool when you jump in the pool.
100% or nothing.
It's 100% or nothing. You can't say that. You can't say you're in the pool if you right there with your feet just kind of hanging in the pool.
And so that's what we had to go through. I had to feel that discomfort and that anxiety of, wait, Cullen saying, wait, are we in a relationship or are we in this half and half? Because if you're not willing to be 100%, then we're not doing this. And I was like, wait, I've been married before. What you telling me I'm not ready to date? I'm not ready. I was like, who are you talking to?
Who are you telling? Yeah.
But we got very clear. And I said, you know what? From an education standpoint, we have to define what a healthy relationship is. And so we started there. And then I had to look at, wait, every time I had discomfort, it was just an opportunity for me to learn and grow. So the definition of healthy relationship, we were like, it's a mutual exchange of time, energy, resource, service, and health. And so if you are not in it 100%, then what are you doing? You're in a situationship or you're in a dysfunctionship.
Yeah.
And so this company was really started out of a lot of my struggle and pain and really undoing what I had learned and what I had been comfortable with. And also with Cullen saying, let's be very clear, because when he was dating, it was like, wait, a lot of people are expecting me to just settle. So dating is like very critical. It's the most critical point in a relationship, because the expectations societally are like, people are like, no, just go. It's about that time of the year. You should be at this point, do this and that. And it was like, no, we just have to get people set up on how to date well so that they can court well, so they can have healthy relationships. Because again, we had been married before, so we knew how to do it incorrectly and just to do it just because. But why not enjoy each other and have fun and have a healthy relationship?
Exactly. Wow. That's a good point. You guys make amazing points, and that's a very inspiring story that you guys have. That, and I admire you guys so much because of what you guys do, and you help a lot of people. And could you actually just let everybody know a little bit about some of the programs that you do, some of the all of the events that you do, a little bit about that?
Yeah, you want to take it? Well, I'll start and then I'll let her go. We, the real heart of what we do is educate, and we have that on so many different platforms. Like we can reach you, you know, like doing this virus thing where we're all kind of locked in the house. We've already been like reaching out to people in this type of way over video device. I mean, over mobile devices and stuff like that. So we try to be very, just to be flexible, because we know we're living in a really, really busy time, which I think is awesome. So we there's no excuse. We're trying to reach people. We feel like in the Black community, people aren't as invested in spending on non-tangible things that address their mental health and their spiritual health. So we have tried to think of everything. So we have we have
regular coaching where individuals can come to us and say, you know what, I want to do some work on my own development and what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship with my family, with my friends, and with my colleagues. So individuals come to us for coaching. We have couples come to us, partners come to us for partners coaching. We have organizations or affinity groups. We do coaching with them. How do you engage at work? Like, how do you undo the toxicity in workplaces? How do groups of, let's say, teammates at another, whatever infinity group, if they want the core of that engagement to be healthy engagement in a relationship with whoever they're with, then that's our basic coaching. We also do like development programs where companies contract us, or if, again, affinity groups contact us for workshops. Churches have contracted us for marriage retreats, things of that nature. We also offer group series where groups of people can do the work. So for example, we have like a healthy relationship 101. We also have a dating series, which is like the dating toolbox. We also have a her series where women can unpack a lot of the things, like I mentioned earlier, that we were enculturated and sort of beat in us as little girls. Like, these are the things we have to now peel away to show up in our full power, because God gave us the answer when God gave us the woman, right? So if we want the health of this world and just everything it has to start with a lot of that power that women have. So the
Right.
Her series comes from that. We also have His series, and then we have the Couples series. So those are 4 main toolbox areas where people can learn. And again, it's always embedded with the psychology piece, because we recognize it's, you know, some things are human nature, some things we really have to unpack affectionately,
Right.
but we are
Right.
going to hold you accountable.
Right.
Again, because Cullen wasn't like, okay, well, you go heal and then we date. He did say that, but I was like, the nerve of him. I know how to be in a relationship. I don't have to wait. And so people that work with us, they understand that I want to work and heal. Like,
Right.
I want to do it at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
Or some people will maybe go to therapy and psychiatrists and say, you know, I just want to do the healing separately than from in a relationship. Because what we are very clear on is relationships are mirrors. You can do some really great work in a relationship because you will learn a lot about yourself in a relationship.
Yeah.
So our main components are coaching and development. And we also offer like a monthly membership where people just get these check-ins with us. They get like 15 minutes on the phone with me and Cullen. They get like emails of support and resources.
Right.
Yeah.
And we also have experiences where those are the events that happen live in person. So we have
Right.
the WLW Conference, the Real Worth Conference, and then we have the couples getaways. Those are the 3 things that come under the experiences that we have. So
Right.
again, at WhenLoveWorks, you can get coaching, you can get your own development workshops, and you can get an experience. And all of it is encompassed in us disrupting unhealthy relationships. There's a status quo of unhealthy relationships, and we're like, enough already.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's amazing. I think it's something that's definitely needed at any time, anytime in any position that you're in your life. And what would you guys say are some of the most common issues that you're hearing about in this time with the quarantine that's going on and everything like that?
Well, there are a lot of people who are seeing each other for the first time. Hello? Yeah, there are a lot of people. I'm sorry, something happened with.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. There are a lot of people who are actually seeing each other for the first time. They are. You can hide. It's easy to hide in relationships, and so and the negative of that is you can be 4 years deep and your relationship only be a month old because you never put the time into it. You never spent time face to face with each other. And so what you're seeing now is like there, and I'm not trying to say everybody, some people really did the work in spite of, even though when things were in the state it was prior to this. But there's so many people for the first time that are coming face to face and they're having interactions with each other. And my wife will tell you, nobody is immune to this work. And I don't care how compatible you are. I don't care how much chemistry you have. Chemistry is like an inheritance. When you meet somebody and y'all have chemistry with each other, that's like an inheritance. You didn't do anything. You didn't have to do anything for that. Y'all just jive right out of the gate with that. I don't care who you are. That inheritance is not enough. You're still going to have to do the work. Because remember, you come from one background, your partner comes from another background.
Right.
So y'all, it's no different from when 2 companies merge. Now you're going to have to come together and create policies that work for both and new architecture within the company that works for both, so they merge together and there's a nice, even intermeshing. That's all that happens in relationships.
And so what we're seeing now is people are really getting an opportunity to see if the person that they're with is really 100% in, and if they're 100% in, like they're really uncovering, wow, do I know this person? Or are we just pretending like we're in a relationship? Is it a relationship? Is it real? Like, you can't run in these times. Yeah. And so it's really important now for people to honor that and sit with it. It may be very uncomfortable, but no one is exempt from this work. I don't care if you are a billionaire, the highest paid. I don't care if you are a celebrity status. I don't care if you have the highest level of education or the highest influence. You are not exempt from relationship work. No one was actually taught at our core how to do this well. So if you think of any amount of money, education, influence, or celebrity is going to exempt you from knowing how to do healthy relationships well, you're just delusional. No one is exempt. And we just offer people opportunities to do the work proactively so that even if they're in a relationship, they can say, you know what, I may have been with this person for 2 years and we've been doing something, I don't know what it's called, but we've been in something. Now
Right.
I want to learn how to really have a healthy relationship. So we offer guides, we offer little ebooks people could download. We offer, again, like the monthly membership and the ebooks are the quickest ways to get some support on how to transform your current relationship into something that's healthy that you could enjoy. Because everyone deserves love. Everyone was born worthy of love.
Yeah.
And Cullen and I are very adamant about, let's do it. Let's do it 100%. We only get one life. Why are we getting comfortable in situationships and dysfunctionships? And we don't speak from an ivory tower. Like I said, I was married before and in several toxic relationships.
Right.
But I was like, I still deserve love.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And for those that, thank you for that. For those that are just now joining us, we are with When Love Works. We are with Elitia and Cullen, and we are talking relationships. And if you have any questions in the comments, if there's anything that's being said that you can relate to, please say it in the comments. Any questions that you guys have, they'll be able to answer to the best of their ability. And so, Cullen and Elitia, can you share a few tips about maintaining a healthy relationship during this quarantine?
Transformative, even because people see and a person that's in it with you and loves you and really in it with you, they'll be transformed by your service, and they will become a better server. And trust me, what you do in relationships, you pick up each other's habits. Whether you want to or not, you start to pick up each other's habits. Even the negative ones are really bad. Like if you're sarcastic and passive aggressive on Monday, your mate is going to be twice as good at it.
You start mirroring each other.
Yeah, you start mirroring each other.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 days later, they're going to be just as sarcastic and passive aggressive as you, but they're going to be better at it. And you're going to be pissed. You're going to be like, man.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah. Yeah. So service is everything. It's such a beautiful thing.
And those two are very important in this time, gratitude and service, because a lot of people, again, the reason that there's a lot of challenges and conflict and crisis coming up right now in relationships is a lot of people are not grateful. And secondly, they're looking for tit for tat service. They're watching what the other person is doing versus being of service and recognizing that it's still in the same pot. It's still in the same relationship. So the more I serve, it's still feeding us.
We have a term in WhenLoveWorks called, we have a lot of them, but we have one called a love cheapskate. Now, first of all, I have never seen anybody give so much love they didn't have any left. You can't, it's impossible. Like because God foots the bill. Like,
You said a love cheapskate.
We call them love cheapskates. So you got all this love to give.
Infinite.
But you sitting there watching how much your partner's spending. So that's just like being what's the richest dude's name? What's his name?
The richest person.
The richest person in the world. I forgot his name. But that's
Warren
like
Buffett?
Warren Buffett. That's like Warren Buffett and the next person in line billionaire going out to dinner and a regular dinner now. For them, all dinners are cheap. So they both going to dinner and both of them watching to see who's gonna pick up the tab and watching to see how much this person getting and why is he buying another drink? That type of stuff. We got love. We have an infinite supply of love. And you with the person you love.
You chose.
Why are you pinching it out?
Right.
Like you ain't gonna you're gonna run out. I've never seen anybody run out of love.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. And what you guys said a little bit earlier about gratitude actually brought me back to the thought of, and you guys introduced me to this. I never heard about it before. You mentioned it. It was called the love languages.
Yes.
Love languages. So anybody in the comments, if you've ever heard of love languages, let us know in the comments. Can you guys just quickly run through what that is?
Well, tell them it's by
Dr. Gary Chapman created an activity to really help you uncover your love language. And love languages are 5 categories that really let you know how you open up, how you feel loved. And the first is physical touch. words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, and quality time.
Quality time.
So those 5 areas are how you feel most loved. But the point is, if you are in a relationship, your partner has to get it right. So they could be the greatest person in the world and you pick perfectly, right? But if your love language is quality time and they are giving you gifts, so they are doing the receiving gifts, they're doing a physical touch, the words, and they're not hitting quality time, you will feel unloved. So,
and that's really unfair to him and to you, because that's why it's so important to know your love language, because we've actually seen this happen. We've seen men and women who were ideal partners in every other way. But let's say, but the one shortcoming they had is I'm just not touchy. I'm not a physically affectionate person. And then their partner's love language is physical touch.
yeah.
So this person is getting everything and not getting the one thing that makes them actually feel loved, and then the relationship just collapses in on itself. So that's
so one person ends up feeling unappreciated,
unloved. It's that serious. We've had people who, I mean, the guy his whole life was known as the most loving, sweetest person in the world, but he just wasn't a physical touch person, and she needed physical touch, and he wasn't. He felt like he was. That was a stretch for him, and he didn't do it, and so the relationship collapsed in on itself. But it's not just that one person. We've seen this happen. That's why we honed in on the love languages and realized what that book was actually talking about. If you miss what is significant to a person, they're gonna feel unloved despite all the other stuff. Yeah. I'm just saying you take care of him or her in every other way, but miss that. Yeah. Can't do it. It won't work.
It causes a lot of miscommunication for sure. Celia Guevara said, "Love language is learning how the other approach the significance of love for him or her."
Yeah.
Yes.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you're just now joining us, we are with WhenLoveWorks. We are with Elitia and Cullen of WhenLoveWorks. If any of you have any questions, now's the time to ask them in the comments. If you relate to anything that you heard today, please put it in the comments. And I'm really excited for what you guys have done and what you have coming up. Is there anything specific, any events that you have coming up?
Well, COVID really did a number on us.
I know.
Because next weekend we would have been in Denver with Denver Public Schools and their staff, one of the schools there and their staff.
And a personal, a bunch of and then the personal relationship group there we had set up, and that fell in, and a few other things fell in because people are afraid.
Yeah.
So
and we're not in Denver next weekend for the staff healthy relationships in the workplace, and we're not there for the TRC, which is the Love Work, the Real Work of Relationships conference Saturday. That would have been next Saturday in Denver. But what people can do is still connect with us online. We always have his series, her series, the Dating Toolbox and Couples Toolbox. Those are ongoing. We're rolling enrollments because it's 4 sessions with unlimited access to us in between. So you get all of the necessary resources that you need to just build and transform healthy relationships. So while we're not in person until maybe next year, October, when we go to Couples Thailand.
We have to find out.
We don't even know. But those are just some of the things that are on deck. We definitely had Couples Thailand coming up next October, and another Love Works conference. But between all of those things, we always have the monthly membership where you're going to literally connect with Cullen and I every month and have your resources. We always have the his series, the her series, Dating Toolbox and Couple Toolbox, because those are accessible online. Like we see and hear you just like this. And then you get your resources. We share the screen with you so you can see everything. You get to doing it's like an in-person basically. So we've always been set up for that. So those are experiences that people could still have with When Love Works, because the key word is we were very intentional about even the naming of our company. Love is an infinite resource, but we were like very specific about, okay, when people recognize love as an infinite resource, then they have to do some work. Because
Right.
like I said, there's no pause button on life. So even though you may have done relationships wrong, when you recognize you have an infinite supply of love, now you have to put it to work. And so our company is grounded in, now what does that look like when you actually put it to work?
Right.
Because you're going to reap some
Always
great
work to
rewards.
do.
Yep.
It's always work to do.
Yep. Yep.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. And you guys, like you mentioned, you have a lot of virtual events that you do. You have a lot of services that you can do virtually with everybody. And so thank you so much, you guys, for your time today, for taking your Sunday out to speak with us and share some of your knowledge with us. I hope a lot of people, you know, gained something from this, and I'm sure they did. I'm always learning from you guys. So whether you're in a relationship or you're single or it has something to do with a family member or a friend, I know that you guys are really helpful with that. So if you want to learn more about When Love Works, follow them on Instagram at WhenLoveWorks or Facebook or Twitter, any of the social media. You guys also have a podcast.
Yes. So you are shelter in place. Now's the time to binge season 1. Season 2 would have been released last week too, but that was video. But binge season 1 of our podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, binge the entire season 1. Make sure you have notebook and pen ready though.
Yes, yes. And make sure you sign up for their free monthly newsletter. You guys have a monthly newsletter. You guys have a lot of helpful resources. And then you also have a guidebook that you guys just published.
Right.
And
Yes.
that's tell us a little bit about that real quick.
That's the easiest way for whether you are single or in a relationship for you to say, okay, where are we? And then how do we go to the next step and make it healthy? That's the easiest 1, 2, 3. Here's the pyramid. You may be at the first level, love. Okay, we all know love ain't enough. We've seen people say, okay, love isn't enough. Tina Turner even had a song about it. Then what are the other levels of the pyramid and how do I get to those levels? But it's an easy guide on recognizing where you are in your relationship journey and then where to go from there, what you need. So it's an easy read, downloadable ebook with, of course, some work in there, some practice sheets in there, but easy for people to get to healthy relationships.
All right. That's amazing. So thank you again, you guys, for all of the helpful tips that you gave us, letting us know a lot about yourselves. And I really appreciate you coming on here. Thank you so much, you guys.
Sure.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
thank you.
Enjoy your Sunday.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.